Expo Center, where we find my colleague Bradan Moyane. Bradan, what's happening that side? I know that there's a storm, but I'm pretty sure there's still more and more people from the ANC that you're able to speak to.
Yes, despite the storm which is still going on, Masigo, as you reconnect with us here at Nasrec, where the ANC is supposed today to conclude its 55th National Conference. But we are managing. There are still delegates up and about, of course, because they're still voting for the additional 80 members of the party's National Executive Committee. But we've got our colleague Moloko Moloto who's standing by with a guest as we continue getting more reaction and comments from some of the delegates. Good afternoon, Moloko.
Good afternoon, Kulugomba. Then, indeed, as you possibly can see behind us, the heavens have opened. It's pouring here. And of course, some people would say when it rains, it's an omen. Whether it's a bad omen or a good omen, it depends on people's interpretation. But yes, the last day of this 5-day meeting of the African National Congress, the delegates coming from various provinces from the length and breadth of this country to elect their leaders and also to shape policies which ought to be implemented by the governing party, the African National Congress. But then indeed, the delegates, as I had you saying, they are continuing to vote for the additional 80 members who will be members of the National Executive Committee. You would recall that from the branch nominations, there were 200 people who were selected by the branches. And when they got into the plenary last night, the delegates were given an opportunity to also consider some of the people from the floor. And I'm told that additional 40 people were nominated from the floor. When I spoke to some of the delegates a little bit earlier, they were telling me that they were still voting. In fact, as we're speaking now, provinces such as the Eastern Cape, according to one delegate that I spoke to about 15 minutes ago, had still not voted. But one delegate who has cast his ballot is Joshua Tivet. He is from Namakwa in the Northern Cape. Meneer, thank you so much for your time. What is your overall assessment looking at how this conference started from day one when your president was heckled and booed and all that up to a point where he is re-elected? Just your overall assessment.
Thank you, Chief. Chief, I'm glad to be here because our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, we tried the best to bring him in for the second term to unite the organization, the ANC. We have challenges.
If I can ask you to please speak a little bit louder.
Yes. If I say we was in the past 5 years, we will have a lot of challenges. But now we try to reunite the organization. So as we speak now, we give our president a second term. I elect for him as a president. I'm from the Northern Cape, Richtersveld, and he's also the one who helped us with the land claim in our area, Richtersveld, to settle the deed of settlement with the government. So as I spoke now, we also busy with a big development program in the Richtersveld. So as we speak now, we still in election program. I'm glad I'm come early to elect for my additional members.
Okay. You have renewed his mandate as a party leader. South Africa is grappling with so many challenges, rolling blackouts, unemployment, and the services that really are not pleasing. People in municipalities are not getting water, they're not getting services that they deserve. How do you think he's going to assist, considering that he possibly, that is if he is elected in 2024, will still be president? Just how do you think he is likely to assist here?
As I spoke to you earlier, there was a lot of challenges for the 5 years. So there was factions and there was NEC members who support us and members on the ground who still support us. So we as an organization have a lot of challenges. So as what we try to do and why we bring him in, we try to unite the organization and try to work with all the people, and us, that one who still try to sabotage the service of the people on the ground.
You're talking of members who have been sabotaging his administration and all that. Yet we know, coming to this very Congress, there were people who were clear. They simply did not want him to come back for various reasons. And I'm not too sure if miraculously you, as members of the ANC, having elected him, you automatically believe that the factions will die off. How are you going to reconcile or convince those people who still possibly do not believe he is the right person to rally behind him so that there are no divisions within the ANC? Should people get fired, in your view?
Yes, people must understand. You must go with that majority. If the majority vote him in, you must lead by the majority. So as I spoke, the president is now there. So if you want him or not, he is the president of the country. He is the president of the ANC. So that people, they want him. They must come front to us, or they must come to front to the organization. Tell us what is the problem. Because what I see myself, it's he come in and he fight about crime.
Let's say, Joshua, you are the president, just for today, of the ANC. You are in his position. And there are vacancies in cabinet. The Minister Mbalula is certainly going to be leaving. And you look at the current people that are elected with him, that are still going to be elected from the NEC's point of view. How would you reconfigure your cabinet? You don't have to tell me all the 30 people or 28, just maybe 5 people who are not in cabinet that you think deserve to go in there, and some of the few you believe must step out.
No, it's not like step out. It's like they must come together, let us build a better South Africa. They cannot break down the South Africa as they don't want Cyril Ramaphosa, our president there. So they must come together and sort out the problem. Let us build.
So the president must not shuffle his cabinet, you say?
No, it's take time. You see, it's a new additional election today. So we end maybe by 5, and so after 5 there's a new NEC. So if the new NEC is there, they must put them in positions. Because the old NEC, it's a conference. So the time is over, the 5 years is over now. So the new team is coming now. So he must position them to all the structures. It's not
let's conclude here, Joshua. Of all the ANC presidents post-1994, it was only Nelson Mandela who finished his term in office. And he also did just 5 years. Mbeki came, he was recalled before the end of his term. Zuma came, he was also fired. Ramaphosa, do you have confidence that he will finish his term, considering the fact that there clearly are divisions, there clearly are people within the ANC who still do not believe in his leadership?
No, we are very confident that he can make his finish his term. So that's why I asked today. We are here to try to reunite the organization to build a better South Africa. We are not here today. If you still want to break down the organization, you must come with your problem you have as a person, or as a group, or as a faction. Come to front. Tell us as branch members what is the problem. We are all members of the ANC. We are here.
Why must people of South Africa still believe in the ANC?
It's choice of them, because it's the only organization who bring us out of the struggle for a long time. So we see it's about power play in the leadership. So from the organizations who go out from the ANC, like EFF, like COPE, it's about they don't want to respect and work with the leadership there. So it's about they must discipline themselves. They are not bigger as the organization. They maybe have a lot of friends of group or families on their back. So it's not like they are bigger of the organization. They are a person. So they must respect the rules of the organization.
Thank you so much, Joshua Divet. A delegate from the Northern Cape, he says, members of the ANC must discipline themselves. But of course, we heard the new Secretary General Fikile Mbalula last night as he was briefing the media for the first time in his position as the CEO or COO, whichever way you look at it, of the African National Congress, saying that no one is going to do as they wish, saying that he is the custodian of the ANC constitution as the Secretary General, and the center must hold, as he says. Of course, we will have to see what he's going to be doing as far as the members of parliament who voted in support of the implementation of the recommendations of that panel report that had suggested that there be further probe into this whole Phala matter. We know that the ANC decided on the 11th hour not to proceed in disciplining those particular members, and we were told that that particular duty has now been handed over to this incoming NEC, and I guess that is going to be the first litmus test for the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula.